All right, with inflation coming down and the economy slowing down, there's been now talks from people stating that as a result, unemployment is going to come up. There's going to be more and more companies laying workers off, more and more people losing their jobs. And as a result, more and more people that cannot make their mortgage payment, therefore resulting in a housing market crash or prices falling. And while on the surface that might sound like it makes sense and just in general that sounds pretty decent, that general blanket statement fails to address two things that I think are very important as you peel back the layers and really understand the whole process behind that. And the first one is a foreclosure takes time. It's a long, arduous, detailed, and legal process. It can sometimes take a year to 3 years to actually materialize from the moment the person stops making the payment. So it's not like you just 1 month stop making your mortgage payment and then you're foreclosed on the next month. That's not how it works. So if you are under the thought that more and more people are going to be foreclosed on, therefore there's going to be a housing market and a price crash, then you really need to forecast that thought another 2, 3, possibly 4 years if that is to actually happen. So keep that in mind. It's not like you just stop making your payment and then you get foreclosed on. And then number two is banks learned a lot during the housing market crash in '08 and also during the pandemic. And what I mean by that is during the housing market crash of '08, banks were tasked with the responsibility of having to foreclose all these homes and then sell them via short sales, bank auctions, what have you. That was a very costly process from the bank side. And then during the pandemic, when people started losing their jobs, when there was furloughed and a lot of uncertainty going on in the market, and people were afraid and possibly weren't able to make their payments, what banks did instead were loan modifications and forbearances. 4.2 million people in 2020 went into forbearance and loan modifications, and less than 1% were foreclosed on. So if you think about it from the bank's perspective, which one of these two scenarios are more favorable to the bank? To work with the homeowner and actually create a plan, a payment plan in place for them to stay in their home and continue making their payments down the road, or to just all of a sudden foreclose on the home, incur all the costs and expenses of foreclosures and legal expenses that go with that, repairs for the homes possibly, and then having to dump a house, sell a house at a loss more than likely. And that is just not gonna realistically happen. So two things that a lot of people are not talking about, and whenever you hear that blanket statement of higher unemployment means housing market crash and home prices dropping, 2 points that are not always brought up and I think are very important to understand as you're having that conversation. So I hope that brings value to you. Again, I'm always looking for the best mortgage for you. I'm always looking for the best deal. So if there's anything I can do to help you guys out, let me know. I hope you have a great rest of your week.